Stu Bourne is one of the main people behind Music on Main. People who've been to Music and More on Main Street. It took me 2 years to find the place because the parking is terrible. But it's a great little venue if you want to go and watch music in the evening. As soon as we get rid of this damn flu. And on Thursdays they also have a Zoom session that you could get in touch with Tim Marr or Stu about. And they do similar things to what the Folk Song Society does and similar things to what we do here. So when somebody asks me about open tunings and I know nothing about open tunings, uh, I passed the word around this circle, and Stu courageously volunteered to show us some open tunings today. So with that, I'll ask Stu to unmute himself and sort of take over.
We're talking about open tunings. The first question is, what is an open tuning? It means that when you hit the strings of your guitar without touching them, you get a chord. There are any number of alternate tunings that are not necessarily open. I think Dadgad qualifies in that region because you can't get a chord out of Dadgad without putting your at least one finger on the guitar somewhere. I've stuck with open tunings. I have, this one is open G, and I'll play you a couple of things in open G. Well, after you say what is an open tuning, you say why is an open tuning. And there are a number of reasons, but they just sound good. Is one, they're easier to play in some ways than straight tunings. People that play slide guitar like them because you can go straight across the neck with a bar and get full chords, and you get effects in them that you simply can't get with standard tuning. They produce harmonic resonances because of the duplication of the strings. Most of them have, you would think with 6 strings and 3 notes in a chord you would get 2 of each, but you hardly ever do. This is G tuning, for example, and you have 3 Ds, 2 Gs, and 1 B. Dadgad is D-A-D, G-A-D, and open D is D-A-D, F-sharp A-D. So you can, I watched a fellow spend an entire evening entertaining and using only open D and Dadgad by retuning his G string a half tone. With that and a capo, he did an entire evening. Anyway, shall I play you something in open G? An exotic little piece by Tom Rush called Rockport Sunday. One of the prettiest things I know. Let's see if we can get through that.
Thank you, Stu.
The seventh. And that works for all of them, as far as I know. Okay, that's about
Okay.
all I could do as demos. Charles?
Okay, well, thank you, Stu. That was a terrific presentation, and I assure you that no mistakes will appear in anything that is recorded and published. I'm going to open breakout rooms, and there's basically room 1 and room 2, but we should avoid room 2 because I can't think what to do with it. People who wish to basically start a song circle can do a song circle, or you can all come back to the main hall, and we'll see if we can move around in this big house that I've created and see how this works out. I'm sort of experimenting here.
We're dealing with the shock of being in a room 1, figuring out how to get out. See who else joins us, because isn't this where the workshop will be, right? Stu, this is the
could
workshop.
be.
Could be, maybe.
Like I say, I get paid the same no matter what happens.
Sometimes you get the feeling,
like
Poole.
that.
Here's Charles is back.
It's Zoom maze.
We're in the main session.
Looks like everybody's in the main session. Well, that's cool. Let's just go on with the workshops, Stu.
You can bounce back and forth too, Graham.
Yes, everybody can move around in these breakout rooms. Like the way this is set up is you're free to wander about. There's no restrictions here.
I'm staying put. The rest of
Okay.
you can move around me like the moon's around a planet.
There we go.
Are you all interested in getting back into OpenG with me?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Now you don't have to take your whole face. Well, actually, that's
My
fantastic.
face is fine.
But your hands are even better. That's just great. Thank you.
My pleasure. Okay. Is that your extra guitar, Gary, or is that the one that's tuned to OpenD?
Well, I was tuning along with you, actually, Stu. So if we want to tune back to G, if you want to remind us of what those notes are rather than having to figure it out, if you want to work in G for a while, that'd be super.
When I say bottom, incidentally, I mean the bottom in pitch, not the bottom geographically. So that note is a D, tuned down from an E to a D. If you have your little electronic tuners there, you're already there, Gary, because that's where your D, open D is as well. And Gwenda has tuned this beforehand. And once you get that one done, tune the high E string also to a D. So you should now have 3 D notes. The A string is tuned down to a G. So that's your second thickest string. And if you're coming from standard tuning, you're done. So your notes would be D, G, E, G, B, D. Okay?
Can you just play it slowly for us again, Stu?
Once again, your 3 chords would be the 5th fret barred solid and the 7th fret, So that is a C chord, and that's a D chord. But there's other ways to play these chords as well. To play a C chord down here, it's like two of the fingers are the same as a C chord if you were in standard tuning, but you have to cover the high string at the 2nd fret in order to get that E note. And don't play this one. So that's a C chord. Any questions?
It's shaped like a D7, right?
Well, not quite,
Not quite.
because your 3rd string is fretted at the 2nd fret. Your 5th string is at the 1st fret, and your 6th string on the 2nd fret. Does it sound like this?
It does.
Good.
Sorry.
In order to get a D7th, you can leave that finger there where it was for the C chord, and these two, that is the 2nd and the 4th, on the 2nd fret. And that would sound like this. Right? Okay. Now I want to teach you a little tune in this tuning. If you're game, Elizabeth Cotton wrote something called Spanish Flang Dang, and it sounds like it's a little waltz, and it's fairly simple, so I'm thinking that I may be able to communicate it to you. Let me play it through once for you. It sounds like this. It's very simple, and most of it you can do with one finger. You don't need your C chord, you just need that D7th chord. And you need the 2 bar chords. The rest of it's all done on the high string, and you do it with one finger. Well, you may need a couple. So it starts out on the 5th fret, and it goes 5, 4, 2, 4, 5, open. And then every second time around, virtually, it's your D7th chord. And then the open G. So that part sounds like that. Five, 4, 2, 2, 4, 5, open. All right so far? So you play that twice. That's one part. And you can play that whole part twice. With me. Okay so far. Then we go from 5 to 7. Back to 5 to 4. 5 and open. Five, 7, 5, 4, 5, open. So with the bass strings, that sounds like. And then the D7 chord again. And you're picking it from the top down, so it goes. Okay?
I think so.
And our next variation is 5, 7, 9. And then open. And then comes back, does it backward. 9, 7, 5, open. And back to the D7 chord. So. Not too tough so far. And that's it, except for the 2 bar chords. And then she goes back and plays the first one again. And you're done.
I think it's going to take us a while to get that, but we have you on tape, so it'll never go away.
I have a tab for it, if anybody wants it. I found it in an old book called Fingerpicking Styles for Folk Guitar. And I'm sure that there are about 100 versions of it on YouTube as well, since Elizabeth Cotton recorded everything several times.
But it's
And
pretty as
played.
can be.
Yeah. So, that's that.